Well, tensions flaring over the immigration crisis. In one Southern California town earlier this week, protesters blocked buses of women and children from getting to an immigration facility in Murrieta. And last night, people on both sides of the debate packing a town hall meeting to make their voices heard, both inside and outside the building.
Please use the word illegal aliens. They came across here illegally.
Tension at a town hall in Murrieta, California.
This is about legal as opposed to illegal, period.
And outside of the meeting, hundreds of protesters who couldn't get in.
Yes, we can! Yes, we can!
The town overwhelmed by a surge in illegal border crossings.
How did we get to where we are today?
Every 72 hours, Department of Homeland Security buses bringing another 120 illegal immigrants to Murrieta.
We're going to transport them on a bus to Murrieta. Why can't we just transport them on the bus to Tijuana?
Many of them quickly released into the community.
You are not following the law. You are breaking the law.
A policy that's so controversial, hundreds turned up to block the buses earlier this week.
Go back! Go back!
Forcing them to turn back and inspiring the mayor to hold an emergency town hall meeting.
You have a handle, a real handle, of what this is costing us.
At the end of this, do I have a plan to send Washington, D.C. a big fat bill? You bet.
But for this California town, it's still not clear when the end of this will be.
No matter what side you're on, I think what we can all establish is change needs to occur at the federal level in many, many ways.
And Murrieta Mayor Alan Long joins us. So, Mayor, you have a real crisis on your hands in this town. Any word from the administration? Because I understand it, these are DHS, Department of Homeland Security buses. Some reports alluding to the fact that they think the administration is somehow behind this, facilitating the moving of these immigrants, these illegals, to your town. What are they telling you in response?
Well, we still have not gotten anything from DHS in the way of a plan or any form of communication. We've been getting all of our information sometimes through the protesters. That's been part of the problem. We're trying to verify information, make sure things are staying factual. People are basing their opinions and decisions on factual information and not rumors. It's been very difficult. We've had to make some critical decisions in a very short period of time. Fortunately, we feel Murrieta is still a safe place. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to display the compassionate side of Murrieta because we don't know what the plan is, and we don't know how we can help the situation once they get here, obviously, because they haven't gotten here yet.
You know, I read, Mayor, that you said, look, we're keeping track of how much this costs. We're going to send Washington a big fat bill. I'd say good luck getting them to pay for it. But what do you do in the meantime? With crowds like this, the numbers are staggering. This is poised to bankrupt your city. And as you mentioned, it's not a national security or a local security issue now, but it could be one very quickly.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we considered, and like I said, we opposed the process by which they're following to bring the immigrants here, not the immigrants themselves. That's really an important factor. Somehow this has been spun that we're racist and we're against immigration. We have a Border Patrol office in our city. Immigrants are processed each and every day, and no one protests that. The problem we're having is the sustainability of staffing, resources, and the finances to support something like this. And all of this has come on our doorstep without any financial resources. And yeah, I made this statement. We're gonna send Washington the bill, and then I shortly followed. Do I anticipate payment? And the answer is no. We all know the reality of that.
Yeah, you have a White House that has repeatedly said the border's sealed, even denying there's a problem. So I'm not surprised, Mayor, they haven't gotten back to you. They would have to admit that there's a problem. But now the president says this is a humanitarian crisis. I think it's far worse than that. What do you expect over the weekend? Any more town halls?
No town halls. And again, we identified the town hall meeting at our first press conference as being that avenue to collectively and constructively come up with some solutions and how we can address things at the federal level. You know, there was an unfortunate side of this, and it was unanticipated that the protests got a little overboard, and we're not endorsing that. Again, we're going to make sure our law enforcement officers keep the city safe, that the law is followed and obeyed and is enforced, and you know, if it gets out of hand, unfortunately, law enforcement's going to have to take action just to keep everyone safe.
Mayor, I wish you the best of luck. We're going to stay on this story here at the Fox News Channel. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And last night, Oklahoma Republican Congressman Jim Bridenstine going on the record. He told us that he was denied access to an immigration facility in his own state. But now we find out that a Democratic congressman, California's Juan Vargas, was allowed into the processing facility in his state. So what is going on? Are the feds trying to hide something? Former Congressman Allen West joins us here in studio. You think they are trying to hide something, and they're hiding a lot of big problems that they don't want to get out.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Judicial Watch brought this out, but you also have had reports from Todd Starnes of Fox News about the health care issues that are there as far as scabies, lice, a case of swine flu, some other things. But what is so troubling is that here you have a congressman that was a former naval aviator in his own state is not allowed to go into a military installation and see what is going on there. That's deplorable. It's despicable. And this was supposed to be the most transparent administration in the history of the United States.
Well, and Congressman Bridenstine also said, look, I'm trying to prevent these kids from getting trafficked. This is my job. This is my district. Let me in. They won't do it. I also want to ask you about the story that we just played in Murrieta, California. You think this is a setup? A lot of people say that the administration is behind this.
Well, when you look at all the trends that have occurred, going back to January, when we saw a website advertising for escorts for illegal immigrants and transportation means, when you had the Secretary of Education, Arne Duncan, and the Attorney General, Eric Holder, 2 months ago, come out and say that any, city or superintendent that tries to deny illegal immigrant children education, they're going to bring a lawsuit against them. We had an administration that was advertising for food stamps south of the border using American taxpayer dollars to do this. And of course, the president's executive order that he took to redefine immigration policy is a main factor in that these individuals are looking to come here because they believe if I'm young, I get here and I'll be able to stay. So when you look at all of those trends, all of those facts, it leads to an administration that is trying to do something purposeful with the immigration policy because as normal, if they can't get cap and trade through legislatively, they turn to the EPA, and it's the exact same thing they're doing here.
You know what? I don't understand how this helps them. You look at the footage from the town hall, you see almost every demographic represented. I mentioned this on the 5. You have a woman who's older, you have a younger black man. This crosses party lines. Yeah, people are upset. How does this help President Obama in an election year? We just have a Gallup poll come out this week saying a majority of Americans now saying, whoa, hold the brakes on immigration.
But see, two things. You get the emotional side of it where don't you care for the children, but we're not talking about the MS-13 gang members. And then you get the other side where it's just a do-nothing Congress, and I'm forced to do this because they won't take up that Senate comprehensive immigration reform bill, which is, full of stuff that we don't understand. It's over 2,000 pages. So he thinks politically this is going to help him with that Hispanic vote and demonize the GOP and the Republicans. But you're right. When you look at the economic situation that we're in, you look at the situation as far as our employment, that jobs report is not the best jobs report out there. We're going to have a crash with the Dow Jones hitting 17,000 because we're just printing money. So you're putting an undue pressure on the American citizen.
Well, that's very scary because that would also mean that President Obama is orchestrating this, not just for PR purposes, but so he can get his way. He's willing to let a crisis happen and
never let a good crisis go to waste. Rahm Emanuel.
That is true. Scary stuff. Yeah. Congressman, thanks.
Thank you.
And a Republican congressional candidate says she was the target of a racial attack. Her campaign sign vandalized. She'll be here to tell you her disturbing story. That's up next.